There's nothing worse than having an urgent issue you need to resolve, calling the first number you can find on Google and having the phone ring for ages before ending. Then having to go back to Google to find more numbers to call to see if someone can help you with your issue. This is a common issue for home services businesses and just really busy, hardworking business owners. In this video, I'm going to showcase an incredible automated AI phone system that can actually completely handle any missed calls with AI. This means no more lost leads and happier customers. Instead of the phone ringing out or receiving a voicemail, this new system will actually detect if the phone was not answered and automatically redirect the caller to an AI system. It'll acknowledge that it's an automated system, and the AI will actually understand what the caller is inquiring about, forward the inquiry over SMS or email, and just talk to the person to get more information out of them. So rather than receiving a broad message, we can program the AI to ask several questions and answer any questions they throw at it. So this is going to potentially solve the need for the call in the first place if it answers their questions. Over the past year, I've built several AI phone systems to automate various industries, both inbound and outbound, for lead generation and inquiries. And that includes pressure washing, real estate, plumbing, solar, and more. I've also got many other videos covering these exact AI caller solutions. And my goal is to show you how this technology is being used, and maybe you'll reach out to me to get something built for your business. So to get started, I'll walk you through how to build your AI phone agent on the Vappy platform. Then I'll show you how you can interact with it. And finally, I'll explain how to set it up so that any missed calls to your mobile phone will get forwarded directly to this AI. Before we get started, here's a quick demo.
Hi, this is an AI agent handling Brendan's missed calls. How can I help you today?
Hi, I was looking to speak to Brendan. I'd like to fix my roof.
Got it. Could you please provide some more details?
By the end of this video, you'll have a fully automated AI phone that can handle all your missed calls on autopilot that will make you more money and help your customers. So here we are on the Vappy platform. So if you aren't familiar with the Vappy platform, I've covered this in several of my other videos where I've even got a 2-hour tutorial covering the Vappy platform. Essentially, this is really the main place where we can actually build these assistants. All we're doing is providing the instructions and settings, and we're pretty much crafting the entire AI here. We're then getting a phone number through this platform. And then what I'm going to show you is how we can actually take that phone number and then take your regular phone, and we can actually use a redirect from your phone provider and send a call straight to Vappy. So to get started, go ahead and create a new assistant. Obviously, you do need to create an account first. If you're not familiar with Vappy or you want to get more familiar with it first, I do recommend checking out some of my other videos. But for the most part, just click Create Assistant and you're going to get this tab here, which allows you to create your assistant. We're just going to be clicking on Blank Template. We can name this whatever we want. I can just leave it as New Assistant and we'll just hit Create. Once you've gone ahead and done that, you're going to land on the main assistant development page, which looks just like this. Essentially, we can change everything there is about our assistant. So Vappy allows us to change the voice. It allows us to change the AI model. So if you're not familiar with AI models, there are many of them, and there's lots that have different varying factors to them. So one is GPT-4o, which is the one I typically use for voice assistants. GPT-4o is the model I typically use. It is slightly slower than GPT-3.5. It is also a little bit more expensive, 1 cent per minute, as you can see there. So we can track all these variables, cost and latency. We can see here, GPT-3.5 is cheap and quick, although it is not as smart as something like GPT-4o. There's also GPT-4 Turbo, which is quite a bit slower, quite a bit more expensive, but it is going to be the smartest model. So depending on your use case, you can change these models depending on that. Once again, I've got many other videos that cover these specific things. So if you really want to get deep into the settings, I've got other videos for that. For the most part, I'm just going to be building out a prompt, a set of instructions for building out a system that we can actually put and connect to our phone. So if somebody calls me, it's going to redirect to a AI version of me that's going to help them with their inquiries. And I'm going to show you how to do that through your phone system as well. So the first thing I'm going to do is modify this first message. So the first message is the first thing that's said on the call. So in this case, given that this is going to be a redirect call, the start of the call might be, hi, this is an automated AI system I'm covering for Brendan. He's not available at the moment. That's something that you would probably put in there. So I'm just going to go say, hi, this is Brendan, or I should say, this is an AI agent handling Brendan's missed calls. So do whatever you want. Essentially, it doesn't really matter what you put. It's free form for this case. And this is going to just take this message and say it as soon as the call gets picked up. And then I can just add, how can I help you today? So it'll start off by saying, hi, this is an AI agent handling Brendan's missed calls. How can I help you today? From here, I'm just going to go ahead and delete the blank template that they've provided. We don't necessarily need that. And I'm just going to start to build out the system prompt. So the system prompt is what it would pretty much just providing instructions. So all we're doing is talking to the AI in this instance, and we're telling it how we want it to act. So one of the things that I commonly do is to create a little bit of a template by just providing some sort of standardized things for it to follow. So I'm going to put in a role, I'm going to put in a task, I'm going to put in some specifics because we want it to be very specific to what we want it to do. So to start off with the role, we're essentially just going to be providing some instructions to guide its sort of personality. So in this case, it is going to be my sort of digital receptionist, digital assistant. And we can just say that. So you are a digital receptionist for Brendan. You will be handling all of his missed calls. Once we've done that, hopefully it now has an understanding of what its objective is, what its purpose is. And then the task is more specifically what you're actually going to be doing. So in this case, you will, or should I say your role, your task is to find out what the caller is inquiring about. So I've said for the task, your task is to find out what the caller is inquiring about. And for the specifics, we might say, please follow up or please ask follow-up questions to the inquiries to get more information out of them. So a lot of the time, if you're receiving a voicemail, people are probably just going to rush the voicemail just to give you a general consensus as to what they're talking about. So you can call them back later. But in this case, we could ask them follow-up questions to get more info out of them because it saves us a lot of time because we get to ask these questions without having to do it ourselves. And so if we can get the AI to do it, why not? So we can essentially say, ask some follow-up questions to their inquiries to get more information out of them. So now we've got an incredibly basic prompt. I'm just going to give it a quick call just to see what it actually does with this basic of a prompt. And then we're going to start iterating from here.
Hi, this is an AI agent handling Brendan's missed calls. How can I help you today?
Hi, I was looking to speak to Brendan. I'd like to fix my roof.
Got it. Could you please provide some more details? Are you looking for a repair or a complete replacement? Also, do you have any specific issues you're facing with your roof?
Yeah, the roof is actually leaking.
I'm sorry to hear that. How long has the roof been leaking? Also, do you know what type of roofing material you have? This information will help Brendan better understand the situation.
So as you can see there, automatically, we've been able to get those follow-up questions being asked. It was able to understand that it's a person working for myself. So it's obviously got that context, right? It's talking about me and how it's going to be forwarding this message. So it's already got that down very well. And so obviously, if this is all you're trying to do, it's actually pretty basic to get that all set up and running. But obviously another thing that we probably want to do is have these messages forwarded to myself. So if we wanted to send a text message or send an email, we have to set up a custom automation for that. So the next thing I'm going to add in is actually just give it a bit more context. So obviously at the moment, it has no idea who I am or what I do or what these calls are even remotely going to be related to. And so something I've just added in now is context. So context is just going to give the AI a little bit more of an understanding as to what these types of questions are coming in for. If they're not going to be providing specific questions, the AI needs to know why they've asked this question so we can ask better follow-up questions. So for this example, if I did want to just say, I run a roofing company, we help commercial companies their roofing needs. We only work in the state of California. So in this case, I've given it some context. I said we're a roofing company. We help commercial companies only, and we only work in the state of California. And so this is just giving it a bit more information about the company. Obviously, if you were building this for your own actual company, you're going to want to put in a lot more information about it. Just taking in about us information, FAQ information. What we can do as well is upload knowledge base files. So you can just upload files about your company and just give it all the context you can give it. So it has all the information it needs to ask much more relevant follow-up questions and also help the customer as they ask more questions. So one thing you can do is add a knowledge base section within the prompt. Adding a knowledge base section in the prompt is more accurate than using the knowledge base function. Once again, if you want to learn more about those technical things, you can watch some of my other videos. But for the most part, if you wanted to put in opening hours, if you wanted to put in contact details, emails, phone numbers, and things like that, we can essentially just store that in our knowledge base. And this is going to help with the question answering type of stuff. So if somebody comes through and just wants to get some hours of operation information, rather than me having to pick up the phone and say all of that, this assistant will just do that for them. So I've just quickly added in, we operate Monday to Friday, 9 a.m. to 5 p.m. Obviously, this is a very small amount of knowledge base information. You want to really just stack this up with all of the information and knowledge that you've got. So it's really intelligent and can handle any inquiries that come through. But in this case, we should be able to then have that information pull through on the call. So now quickly giving this another call.
Hi, this is an AI agent handling Brendan's missed calls. How can I help you today?
Hi, yeah, I'd like to just know what your operating hours are.
Hi, we operate Monday to Friday from 9 a.m. to 5 p.m. Is there something specific you need assistance with regarding your roofing needs?
No, that's it. Thank you.
You're welcome.
So as you can see there, it's obviously able to now pull through that information from our knowledge base, which is just in the prompt. And like I said, you can use this knowledge base function over here, which allows you to upload bigger documents and bigger files. Although there are some downsides to doing that, which you can obviously check out in the other videos where I cover more of those specific things. But for the most part, this is a very basic and rudimentary setup to getting this started. And this is one of the ways we can do it. Once you've got your setup and instructions ready to go working for your needs, once again, this is going to take a lot of time. This is obviously a very rudimentary system prompt. Most of the prompts we do for our clients are several pages long. It's nowhere near as small as this. This thing is pretty much very basic. There's not a whole lot of information here. There's not a whole lot of prompting and guiding to get it to do exactly what we want. Obviously, if we were to do this over an extended period of time, we would dedicate several weeks to testing and making test calls to make sure it does exactly what we want it to. Obviously, if you've got a specific use case like roofing, you would want it to ask very specific questions and not just random ChatGPT generated questions. So that's something that you can do further on with further prompting and you can add in examples of how you want the conversations to go and things like that, which is obviously just more advanced prompting techniques, which is something that we obviously do within our agency, which you can contact us down in the description below if you do want to schedule a call with us. But for the most part, there are other videos on YouTube that you can watch to get a bit more of an understanding as to how to do this on my channel and on other channels as well. I'll now show you how to set up an email forwarding. So if we want to go ahead and capture an inquiry and just send it off to ourselves in an email, this is actually really simple to do. So we're going to be using a platform called Make.com. Once again, this is a platform I've covered many times on the channel. It's a no-code tool that uses a simple API call to trigger. That just means we can create a VAPI and send a very simple request from our agent to the Make.com automation. We're just saying once somebody has provided all the information relevant to their inquiry, send this over to Make.com and send it in an email. So what we're going to do is go to Make.com. You can sign up using my link in the description if you'd like. And what we're going to do is create a new scenario. Once we've got our new scenario up and running, we're just going to click on the big purple button and click on webhooks and click on custom webhook. And all the webhook is just a sort of a destination. And we're going to use this destination to send information to. So we'll click on add webhook. We're going to call this missed caller, save, hit OK. You can name that whatever you like. That's purely just naming for your own purpose. Copy address to clipboard on that gray button there. And now what we're going to do is go back to VAPI and build out the function call. So making sure to save your VAPI assistant, we're going to go to functions and we're going to build out a function that allows us to send emails. So what you'll see is a section called tools at the top here. And all we're doing is clicking on this and clicking create new tool. I've already got a tool for bookings that I created in a previous video. All we're going to do is click on create tool on the green button, hit on Make.com. So they've got a native sort of integration for Make.com that just helps you sort of locate the information better. So once again, copy that link and paste it in the server URL. Once you've got that, just hit save and then hit next. And then next we've got a build your schema. And what this is doing is just generally what type of information do you want to capture? So what we want to do is capture the inquiry. So we're just going to say what we're doing is capturing the inquiry type. And we're just going to say this is the purpose of the call. It's all the information related to their inquiry. And we'll just hit save. And then we're going to hit next. And what we're doing here is just describing the tool in general. And what this is sort of similar to the previous thing. We're just going to type in get inquiry information. Once again, you don't have to do it specifically to this. The AI is going to be looking at this information. So if you word it slightly differently, as long as the AI can understand it, it's fine. So get inquiry information, describe the tool. This is all the information related to the caller's inquiry. We want to capture it all. So this is very basic in terms of function calls. All we're doing is really just capturing the entire request in general. But what we can do more specifically with this is if we want to capture emails, we want to capture names, we want to capture very specific information. This is super, super useful for. But in this case, we're just grabbing a very general bit of information. So it's not as specific, not as concise as what it would typically be. But for the most part, this should still work. So now going back to our assistant, going to select tools and then applying that to this assistant. Because we're creating a tool, we can actually apply this to multiple assistants. So you don't actually have to create this ever again, create new assistants, and you can apply the same tool. Make sure to hit publish. Now that we've done this, we actually have to put this into the prompt. So we need to call the function from our prompt. So in this case, all we're doing is once we've asked a bunch of questions, captured answers to those questions and got the entire inquiry, we're going to go ahead and just make that function call. So all we need to do is say, please ask follow-up questions to the inquiries to get more information out of them. Once the caller has provided all the information needed, please run the get inquiry information and we'll just put those in quotations, and essentially we'll just type function as well. So get the get inquiry information function, and that's pretty much all we need to do. It should pick up on that as being a function in this assistant, and it should send the request to make.com. So we'll just test that out by clicking publish. This is one of the things you will have to iterate with and change and fix over time. Obviously, it really needs to understand when the information is captured. So this might not work great for the moment in this structure. You may have to play around with it and tell it when to specifically call the function. I've given a pretty broad and not very specific response to when to actually run the function. It might still work, but to do it better, you might want to put in some specific information.
This is an AI agent handling Brendan's missed calls. How can I help you today?
Hi, I've actually got a leaking roof. Would you be able to email that to somebody?
I'd be happy to help with your leaking roof issue. Could you please provide more details about the problem? 1. What type of building is it, e.g., commercial office, warehouse, etc.? 2. How severe is the leak? 3. Where are you located in California? 4. Any specific time frame that you need the issue addressed by? These details will help us assist you better.
Yes, I'm located in California, and I would like to get somebody out on Tuesday to fix it, probably 10 a.m. And it's a pretty bad leak. It's pretty much flooded the entire house. And yeah, that's all the information needed.
Thank you for the additional information. Just to confirm, is this for a commercial building or a residential one? Our company specializes
yeah, that's right.
in commercial.
It's a commercial building.
Give me a moment. Thank you for providing all the details.
So as you can see there, it was following through with a bunch of follow-up questions. Obviously, if you wanted to change the structure, in that case, it was sort of just listing questions going like 1, 2, and 3. Obviously, if you didn't want that, it's not the most natural sounding thing. Once again, that's something we just need to prompt to tell it to not do, and then just iterate over time. So there is a bit of a process to this. You're not just going to get this all up and running within one prompt iteration. You're gonna have to run some tests, change some things to do things differently, and then eventually you'll get a really solid assistant that acts the way you want it to. But for the most part, we were able to run that function. So you can see here on our make.com scenario, I just clicked run once to get this to send some information for. And we can see here, we have the inquiry type coming through: leaking roof in a commercial building, severe leak located in California, requesting service at Tuesday at 10 a.m. So that's the entire inquiry that came through. We've got all that information here. And the benefit here is that we would not have got all this information if this was just a voicemail. If it was just a voicemail, they might have said, I've got a leaking roof, call me back. Not very helpful. In this case, we've prompted the caller to give us when they would like a request, to confirm where they're located, to confirm that it's a commercial building. So we've really got a lot of follow-up questions that's making this a much better system than previously. So from this, very easily, we can pretty much just set up a Gmail module to send out an email. And this works very well. So all we have to do is click on send an email. You will have to connect to your Google account, but it's pretty straightforward. It's a very basic application to use. All we're doing is adding in some context from our tool. So we're going to go to content, click on this. This is going to pop up automatically. Click into function under tool calls, arguments, and inquiry type. So as soon as you do that, this is automatically going to be able to start sending out emails from the inquiries. So all you need to do is just type in your email address to where the email will be sent to, add in a subject like missed call or new missed call, and you're essentially going to be notified of all missed calls and all those inquiries that are coming through. And once we've done this, essentially that is set up. This is going to now send out all those emails. So now to actually take this Vappy assistant, assign it to a phone number, and then connect it to your mobile phone network. So then whenever you miss a call, this number starts getting a ring. So now I'm going to show you how you can actually take your Vappy phone number and then put it on your mobile phone. So whenever you miss a call or a call gets missed, it's going to start to dial up this number, and this is going to answer, and this whole process is going to run. So the first thing we're going to need to do is set up a phone number. So just go to the phone numbers tab, and all you got to do is buy a number directly through Vappy. You can only buy Canadian or US phone numbers through the Vappy system, or you can import some numbers yourself from Twilio or Vonage. I've covered this on many other videos. It's very simple to do. You just buy the number, import your credentials, and it will load itself automatically on here. And then assigning this phone number to your mobile phone to handle missed calls is actually really simple to do. This may differ depending on the type of phone you have, but all you need to do is just go ahead and Google what type of phone you have and how to set up something called call forwarding. What you can do is go into your mobile network on your phone and set up call forwarding. So whenever a call is missed, it redirects to the number that you input it. So get your Vappy number, put it into the call forwarding settings on your phone, and any missed call you have will automatically get sent to that number. So if you can see right here on my phone, if that's clear. So what I have is a call forwarding option within the settings of my mobile network provider. And what I can do is simply upload a number to this. And whenever a call is missed, it automatically redirects to that number on a Vappy assistant and works really well. Now I should note that this may not work with every single phone provider out there. This does heavily depend on the mobile network you're using. So some networks might have the availability to do call forwarding forwarding. Depending on your plan that you've got, this is something you'll just have to look up your specific region and your specific mobile provider. In my case, I can just upload a number directly to it, but some providers might be different. So it really just depends on that. If you want to dive deeper into the Vapi platform and learn about all of the tricks and features of the platform, check out my 2-hour tutorial where I cover everything there is to know about the Vapi platform.